time is it? Oh, Bush.
Lord has given and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. fear not death, we are destined to die. We who ever lived, with all who ever will be. Mourn the dead, hide not your grief. Do not restrain your mourning, but remember that continuing sorrow is worse than death. When the dead are at rest, let their memory rest, and be consoled when the soul departs. Death is better than a life of pain and eternal rest than constant sickness. Seek not to understand what is too difficult for you. Search not for what is hidden from you. Be not overoccupied with what is beyond you, because you have been shown more than you understand. As a drop of water in the sea, as a grain of sand on the shore, are man's few days in eternity. The good things in life last for limited days, but a good name endures forever. Thank you. I'm going to ask David Solomon to come forward, please, to share a brief tribute.
Sorry, David, I get to you. Please.
Yeah, I'm tall. Hi. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, sir. Is that all right? Yes, talk. Okay. Yeah. Welcome, everyone, and thank you guys, all of you, for coming out. I didn't write anything because for the soul that my mom is, I thought it fit to speak from the Spirit. Also, if I wrote something, then you guys would have 2 programs because I would just have to make a book, essentially. I don't think I could just, if I started writing, I would keep going and going and going because that's how much there was to mom, powerful, caring, intelligent, fierce. I could keep going. Those are just a few words I could continue to say, She had such a dynamic personality. There was no one that has ever interacted with her that she wouldn't have impacted in some way. The other day, me and my brother were going somewhere, and I told him, don't worry, man. When we go there, we just need to say we're Juliet Solomon's children, and we'll be fine. Down from the security guard at the entrance, and that was the same thing. We went there, we told him the lady in the red pajero, we told him she had passed. Security guard at the entrance started breaking down. But that's who she was. Any and anybody she spoke to, any and anybody she tried to impact and impart knowledge on and give them something that you would have either seen in them that they don't see in themselves, or just, something that she just noticed, maybe, to try and help them, She's always trying to help, A lot of people here are actually some past students of hers. I think, she was 19 when she taught, and I wasn't surprised when I saw them here because, she would tell me about all of these past students that are messaging on Facebook after decades, and the things, all of the positive things that everyone would say, and just the mere fact that decades later you're reaching out to your old teacher on Facebook just says a lot, So that's who she was. She never stopped being a teacher. She kept teaching everyone, everybody, not a single soul. But even again, you know, even on top of that, there was so much more. She was, you know, after she got out of teaching, well, not got out of because she was still teaching, in a sense, she started multiple businesses, you know. Not only multiple businesses, but she was just a very entrepreneurial person. She was always doing something, you know, and she never did anything regular. There was no, you know, I'm sure a lot of you would be familiar with House of Bags. And at the back of the original store in Barbican, there was, where the door that led to the office, there was a painting that went around the door, and it was, well, not painting, you know, it was drawing on the wall. It was a house, essentially, on the wall. And the door was the door, like where the house is. I'm sure a lot of you know, but for some of you that may not know. Where the door is in the house painting is where the door to go into the office was. What some of you may not know is the painter that painted that was a random painter that she found on one of the guys that sell painting on the road. She saw him, she spoke with him, she liked his work, and she said, "Come and do this for me." He did it, and he did a beautiful job. And yeah, she believed in everyone, man. It didn't matter who you were, you know, she believed in you. Every single person that's in here, she believed in every single one of us. And yeah, how she lived is more so very, very bubbly personality, you know. It's either I say the lady in the red Pajero, or I just say the lady and she has a very bubbly personality, you know, and then, yeah, man, everyone will just know who I'm talking about immediately. So yeah, that's how she lived. She loved to spread positivity. She loved to inspire, and that is why we're doing a celebration of her life, because that's what she really wanted. Of course, we're going to mourn. Of course, it's going to be hard, but she wanted us to cherish the memories that she would have left us with, and the lessons that she would have left us with. I'm sure there's multiple people here that she would have said something to you over and over the years, maybe, you know. And those are the things that she wants to be remembered for. She wants to know that her time on this planet was good. And I think that all of us are only here for a limited time, right? But I think the most important part is what you do with that time while you're here. And I would say that she more than did enough with her time for herself and for other people. So yeah, I will keep on going, guys. I hope I'm not, you know, going too long. I don't know. I don't see any timing or anything. Is she here? So yeah. Again, I could keep on going. I wanted to like litter in here with flowers, but I wasn't really sure how much people were coming. I didn't want to make it too congested. But she was what would you call that? A naturist, in a sense, but not really a naturist, because I don't know if she would go out into nature and being like mosquitoes and all that stuff. But she loved her garden, loved her garden. She loved staying in the garden. She loved looking at the birds. She always had to have a bird bath or a bird feeder or anything like that, to always have birds, and just creating an environment that she felt at peace in, you know. So yeah, she did that. I'll never forget, there was a flower that she has Maybe some of you will be aware of it. It's called Lady of the Night. So how this flower is, it only blooms one time for the year, and it blooms in the night. So by morning, it's gone. So every year, not a year missed. She would stay up all night to make sure that that flower was, or that she could capture it. And of course, I would be getting like 1,000 pictures of the flower by the morning, which is another thing as well. She loved her pictures. You guys will see the program that we did. That was a very big task to do. You know, I think a lot of people usually have the problem of maybe not finding pictures. No, I had the exact opposite. So, yeah, going through that and choosing was, you know, it was very difficult. But eventually, I had to narrow it down, and then also I looked on it that how I look on it is that my mom is immortal right now. When it is that I have my children, I could literally introduce them to her if I wanted to by just showing them her social media, you know. And that was a journey. That was a journey going through her life and seeing all the things. Of course, I learned things about her. And yeah, yes. Final words I will leave with you guys is that my mom loved all of you. She loved all of you. She cared for all of you, and she wanted the best for all of you, even if she didn't know you. And that's how I'd love if all of us try to remember her as, and use that, you know, to inspire us to go forward. You know, I know a lot may admire her, and that's what she would have wanted. If you need to cry, cry. If you need to succumb to your vices, so be it. If you need to throw a tantrum, so do it. But remember the good times, remember the lessons, remember all of the things that she said at the same time. Yeah. I won't go on too much now, but thank you guys again so much for coming out, and yeah, looking forward to celebrating the rest of our life with you for the rest of this service. Thank you.
We will continue with a prayer. Let us remember, O God, that we are only pilgrims upon this earth, and may we never forget that all we have and own most dearly is but lent to us, a trust for which we must render account when thy power demands. For we brought nothing into this world, and surely we will take nothing out. Therefore it is our duty to walk in thy ways, to do what is good in thy sight, and to keep our souls pure from sin, so that when you call us hence, we may enjoy the reward which you have prepared for those who have earnestly striven to live in accordance with thy will. To thee we look for comfort and strength when one of our beloved is taken from us, and the link is broken in the chain of love which binds us together in family union. And when our time comes to walk into the valley of the shadow of death, we shall fear no evil, for thou art with us in death as in life, here and hereafter. Praise be thou, O Lord, our God, in all thy dispensations, and hallowed be thy name whatsoever thou sendest. Kindly ask Mr. Clive Sigree to come forward to do a reading.
Good morning, everyone. As you heard, my name is Clive Sigree, and I am a dear cousin of Juliet. Juliet was my cousin, my friend, my confidant, and my teacher. Yes, my teacher. She actually taught me at school, but we were living neighboring communities. So every single morning, my sister and myself, she would pick us up in that yellow starlet car and take us to school. She taught my sister home economics. So she taught at D. Manning School. So at this time, before I read, I'm going to ask, it would be quite remiss of me not to ask each alumni member who is here to stand. She taught some of us and she didn't, but all of us from Manning's, please stand while I read this in the honor of our dear, dear teacher, Juliet. Man is spiritual here and now. Believing as I do that man is spiritual here and now, wherever he may seem to be, I have no doubt that Juliet is simply continuing in the continuity of life, and that is in the spiritual realm where she has always essentially been. We think we love someone for their looks, their walk maybe, tone of voice, touch, but when you analyze it, it's really for their qualities, their warmth, their humor, their intelligence, kindness, etc. These things are spiritual qualities and are recognizable only by the spirituality in us. This to me is proof of spirituality. We may think it's the shape of a person's nose or their eyes that light up whatever it is, but in fact, it is the impression of these things have on us. And this is not physical or material. It is so, although the sense of loss, brutal, and a shock, when you can look at it and think of it and feel the very real gratitude you have for having known, loved someone, then I think a sense of real reality takes over and one comes to the reasonable conclusion that spirituality is a reality, a continuing spirituality of all good. I believe the way to peace is not to mourn, but to free her in your mind and heart and realize she is always whole, always real, because she is spiritual and so are you. We don't become spiritual when we die. We have always been spiritual, and that, as I see it, is what life is for, to discover. Rejoice in this. It leads into harmonious living now. It reveals what is actually real and durable. Goodbye, my friend Juliet, my teacher, my cousin. May your soul rest in peace and life perpetually shine on you.
We'd like Deji, our soloist, to please come forward to share with us at this time.
Good morning, everybody. Down and oh, my soul so weary, and troubles come and my heart burdened, then I am still and wait here in the silence until you come and sit around with me. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. And I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to be more than I can be. In peace you left the shore, in love may you find the nets, safe passage on your travels until you meet again. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. And I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to be more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. And I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to be more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. And I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to be more than I can be. You raise me up to be more than I can be. Thank you. Thank you.
kindly ask Mrs. Sharon Shelton to come forward to share a tribute.
If my voice trembles, it's because this is a very emotional moment for me. Juliet, Elaine, Malcolm, Cohen, Solomon. A lot of names, and each name representing a different period and telling a different story in Juliet's life. We are here today because those stories have come to an end. When Juliet got really animated and on her high horse, she would use all those names all at once and very quickly. When David asked me to give this tribute a few days ago, I initially said no, because the time was too short for me to prepare to speak about somebody like Juliet, who was unable to have a telephone conversation with me, which lasted less than an hour. No matter how she started out by saying, "Me know you're busy, me not going to keep you long." An hour later, she was still chatting. Anyway, I figured, let me give her a last laugh, as I can just see her laughing now and saying, "You brute you, let me hear what you're going to say about me. And if you say anything bad, I'm going to come back and haunt you." In Romeo and Juliet, Juliet said from her balcony, "Wherefore art thou Romeo? I say today to Juliet, wherefore art thou Juliet?" Nothing could have prepared me, or Orla, or David for what we saw upstairs in Juliet's room on the morning of November 27th, 2023. Juliet's big heart had stopped beating. The big heart that had made us all love her so much. I know that many here today are still in shock and disbelief that Juliet is really gone, or I should say, gone on. I knew that Jules was not well, and that 6 days before, the doctor had wanted to hospitalize her, and she refused, stubborn. She had a million reasons why she was not going into hospital, and everybody need to stop bother me about it. She was not going. With all of that, I never dreamt that the outcome would have been what it was. 2 days before, however, she did tell me that she knew the possible outcome of her decision. I'm not going to say that Juliet got her wish, but maybe she did, and she was ready. So Jules has left us, but I know that she's now at peace, the peace that she spent many years searching for. I met Juliet after her teaching days, and she was in the travel business. She was so good at what she did. My sons always said, compact travel meant the world to her. It was one of her greatest achievements and accomplishments. I enjoyed my years on the board as a director with her at the helm. Juliet was a hard taskmaster and no-nonsense person. And for her, excellence was the name of the game. Her staff loved her and learned to put up with the tantrums and the cussings leveled at them at times, knowing that it was all coming from a heart of love and the desire for them to be the best they could be. We, her friends, got a lot of that tracing too, but she was quick to forgive and apologize. Jules exuded love and never hesitated to tell you that she loved you. In the middle of a conversation, she would stop and say, "You know I love you, right? I love you like cooked food." Juliet's family meant the world to her. She loved them unconditionally and spoke about them all the time. Her mother, her brother and his family, her husbands, her sons, and other family members. Her sons, however, Cornell and David, were her pride and joy. Being a passionate perfectionist, however, caused her to want them to be perfect. And of course, this created problems. She loved them with all her heart and soul, and had looked forward to being a grandmother. She was very proud of them and the young men they were, but in Juliet's style, she worried about them. And as she worried, so she tried to control them from near and far. Cornell and David, your mother adored you. You were her life, and I know that you will continue to make her proud. You saw her at her best and at her worst, but I know that you could never doubt her love for you both. Everything that she did was with you both in mind. I know that you will continue her legacy of love, decency, honesty, hard work, and so much more, while at the same time being your own true and authentic selves. She loved the bond that you both shared and always spoke about it. I know that this will continue. Your mother did her best to be the best mother to you both that she could be. Juliet had a lot of friends. To know her was an experience, and she brought a different experience to all of us, and our expectations of each of us was different. She still remains a mystery to some, but in all of this, there was one constant: her huge heart, and along with that, her loyalty and devotion. She was always loving, always giving, always caring. If we did not speak for a week, she would call, "You are keep man with me. I hope it's Steve." When Juliet got her MBA, she was ecstatic. That was another big goal that she set for herself, and she accomplished it. She even signed up for her doctorate last year. Juliet spent much of her time caring for others, in particular her mother and Owen. She missed them dearly when they died, and their deaths took its toll on her, physically and emotionally. If only she had taken care of herself and her health in the way that she did theirs. They never ran out of medication and were never lacking in medical attention, but she completely neglected herself in those areas. Juliet enjoyed her life. She was a party animal and a carnival Bessie. She came alive in those arenas. She enjoyed traveling and having a good time. She was always ready for an adventure. Even in Jamaica, she loved going to the country, and Cannon Villas was one of her favorite spots. She was really happy when she was there, whether with her family or with our girls' group, our ladies' lodge, as we called it. She loved our get-togethers when we just shot the breeze and had a ball. She will be greatly missed. One event at Cannon that stands out in my mind with Juliet was one night when we all went crabbing, and Juliet pushed the full length of her arm into a deep crab hole and pulled out a crab, much to the shock of all of us there. Normal people use sticks to do that. I have wonderful memories of wonderful times with Juliet. I reached out to some of her friends just to get adjectives to describe her. Everyone said vivacious, and other adjectives were effervescent, flamboyant, loud, fun-loving, strong-willed, kind, intelligent, glamorous, caring, giving, bold, effusive, good-hearted, ambitious, relentless, selfless, fearless, complicated, charming. One said, Juliet had a way of showing her love for you. Her words would make you feel special. Another said, she was always concerned about the needs of others and had a continuous, urgent calling to pursue further studies. Another said, she carried insecurities, yet would exude supreme confidence. And so it went. It was sad to see her life change in recent years, and she became withdrawn and somewhat antisocial, somewhat a loner, and even lonely. I read recently where the US Surgeon General said that loneliness is a major health problem that puts people at risk of premature death as much as smoking every day. As a friend of Juliet said, Jules was full of life, but after a point, no longer enjoyed living. The TV became her companion, and especially when tennis was on TV, she was in her Aki. She loved Serena Williams. Jules, after life's cares and sorrows, you have found the comfort and sweetness of peace. You love to dance, and as Gibran said, when the earth shall claim your limbs, then shall you truly dance. Death need not stop love. You will always be with us, and when we reach into our souls, we will find you there. So go softly now on wings of wind. Reach out and touch eternal life, awaiting your sweet soul. You, thanks for being our friend. And as I go back to Romeo and Juliet, I end by saying, for here lies Juliet, and her beauty makes this vault a feasting presence full of light. And I will add to that light and love. We have no vault today, but we have an urn. And there lies our beloved Juliet, Elaine, Malcolm, Cohen, Solomon. Parting is such sweet sorrow. I shall say goodbye till it be tomorrow. Rest in peace, our beloved friend.
May I ask Deji to come forward again to share with us a musical piece. Thank you.
Memories like the corners of my mind, misty water colored memories of the way we were. Scattered pictures of the smiles we left behind, smiles we gave to one another, of the way we were. Can it be that it was all so simple then? Or has time rewritten every line? If we had the chance to do it all again, tell me, could we? Would we? Memories may be beautiful and yet what's too painful to remember, we simply choose to forget. So it's the laughter we will remember. Whenever we remember the way we were, the way we were. Memories, the way
Truly beautiful. I'd like to ask at this time that Michael Hilton please come forward, the Honorable Michael Hilton.
I'm not that tall. Okay. Good morning, friends. I have known Juliet, Elaine, Malcolm, Cohen, Solomon for most of my life. And at various points during that time, I was her client, she was my client, we were business partners, we were each other's advisor. But most of all, and throughout it all, she was my friend. And when you were Juliet's friend, you were like a part of her family. She shared good news and bad, hopes and fears, memories and dreams. She often talked about her sons, Cornel and David, whom she loved unconditionally. And she was equally interested in your children. I was often amazed at the details Juliet would remember. Birthdays, anniversaries, little things that someone else might have considered trivial, but which she knew were important to you. Juliet always made time to listen and to empathize, and to offer advice and suggestions, even when you didn't want them. In time, I came to realize how wide Juliet's circle of friends was. Her employees were also her friends, and therefore part of her extended family. And sometimes, so were her business competitors. Juliet kept in touch with people who had migrated decades before, and often had to describe someone to remind me who she was talking about. Her descriptions were sometimes hilarious, but always accurate. Juliet lived a full life. She carried on multiple businesses, pursued higher studies late in life, traveled the world. But she was there when her mother needed her, and she was there when Owen needed her, and she was there when her children needed her. Juliet faced various trials and tragedies during her life, probably more than most people. She would be sad, angry, even depressed sometimes, but she always saw the light at the end of the tunnel, and the smile always returned. All loss of life is tragic, but it seems especially tragic in the case of someone who was as full of life as Juliet was. And that is the Juliet that I will always remember. Full of life, bright and bubbly, talking a mile a minute, often about unconnected topics, but always with a smile. Rest in peace, my friend. Love always.
We continue the reading, Love Lives On. Those we love are never really lost to us. We feel them in so many special ways. Through friends they always cared about, and dreams they left behind, in beauty that they added to our days, in words of wisdom we still carry with us, and memories that never will be gone. Those we love are never really lost to us, for everything and everywhere we see their special love, and that love lives on. Kindly ask Mr. Edward Tony Malcolm, Juliet's brother, to come forward to share with us.
Good morning, everyone. My sister, Juliet, she was full of life, with a bright smile, kind-souled, and a no-nonsense demeanor. Juliet's passing has brought mixed emotions. To grieve and to celebrate our love and special memories. Based on our family dynamics, me being the older of the two, I was very protective of my younger sister, Juliet, whom I affectionately referred to as Moffett. Yes, Moffett. That was her pet name. Everyone in Savannah Lamar we grew up with, from infant to primary school, would know her as Moffett. So that's another twist to her life. Nobody knew that except our late mother, along with my sister and I, were closely knitted family. We were like 3 peas in a pod. Our mom was our rock and sole provider. She taught us the basic principles of survival. It was in the late 1960s to early 70s, through her business acumen, that's my late mom, was able to purchase a business in Little London Square. The building has a shop and a bar. That was where Juliet and I got our knowledge of being an entrepreneur. Juliet was a force to be reckoned with. And who would know that better than me? Her older brother. She had a strong voice, an aura that you cannot ignore. She would be the life of the party and still acts like a responsible person. She could make you laugh historically without a blink by adding that tinge of sarcasm. She could make you forget all your worries just by singing and smiling like there's no tomorrow. And equally, she could make you upset and mad, for sure, by telling you what you should and should not do. But hey, that's her personality. And she's entitled to it just as we are entitled to ours. And yes, at times we had our share of discrepancies, just like many other families do. But out of any abundance of love and respect for each other, we resolved our issues amicably, because our love for each other remains the common denominator. Even though our communication had become less frequent, I was aware that she was ailing for some time now, in which she made it be known to me that she has it under control. My sister passing became a shock and still is. I know that it brings comfort to know that she is beyond hurt, worry, and she is now in a place of perfect peace and will not have to endure pain and suffering anymore. I know that cannot make the sorrow of her passing less or ease the pain, the grief I bear, because grief is a price we pay for love. I'll always love her, and nothing replaces that special bond with our love, memories, and experience we had together. During her lifetime, she had many accomplishments. After graduating from Shortwood College, she went on to teach at Manny's High School in Savannah-Lamar and a short stay at Bel-Air High School in Mandeville. Afterwards, she decided to enter the corporate world after relocating to Kingston. This landed her a job with Grace Kennedy Travel Service, and then she moved on to Martin's Travel as their sales and marketing manager. These experiences, along with others, laid the foundation for her to establish her own business, such as Compact Travel Service. Juliet was a hard taskmaster who believed that there should be dignity in labor. She once said, and I quote, "I respect people putting pride in their job, no matter what it is," end of quote. In her personal endeavors, I can only describe her as a very persistent, innovative, tenacious, and a proactive individual. She was a real live wire. In other words, she was no booking agent. Her business allowed her to be a globetrotter. She visited several countries, too many to mention. And you know, in her business, she always won contracts to coordinate travel arrangements for her clients. Notably, this would include athletes who participate in the Olympics, World Games, football, cricket tournaments, etc., which would also involve making travel arrangements, hotel accommodations, and plans for ground travel and excursions. Along that journey, she stopped on travel arrangements, excursions. But she did not stop there. Her entrepreneurial bug continued to delve into other business ventures, just to name a few more: WizKids and House of Bags. Now, that's a great accomplishment for a girl who came from a humble beginning and a simple neighborhood. She will always tell you that the late Valda Sinclair, our mom, is her hero, undoubtedly, which is true, who has taught us all the things that life would expect of us. It would appear as though she had a premonition. That strong feeling that her end was near, which may have caused her to make an island tour to visit family members and friends. She drove herself, which she seldomly did. She always have someone with her. She started from Kingston via the South Coast and returned by way of the North Coast. Along that journey, she stopped in Savannah-Lamar, Negril, Montego Bay, Falmouth, Ocho Rios, then returned to Kingston. Among the persons she visited in Montego Bay were myself and Edine, her niece, in which we enjoyed each other immensely. And we promised that the next trip for Edine would to visit her in Kingston. That is not materialized. She then continued her journey to Falmouth, where she visited other family members. Then she headed to Ocho Rios, where she spent time with her son David, which she expressed was extremely fulfilling. Her island tour had come to an end, and she returned to Kingston. In hindsight, it was as though she was saying her goodbye to all of us. There's a mutual and enduring love which radiates among her nephew and nieces and herself. If you, on every visit to Jamaica, Eddie, her nephew, that's my son, who resides in the United States, would make it a point of his duty to travel to Kingston to visit his aunt Juliet every time. His last visit to her was in August, where he took his son to spend some time with her. This further shows the love they have for each other. And he can attest to that. My sister had a very strong adherence to social media. A few weeks before her sudden passing, her Facebook page boasts the excerpt, and I quote, "At the bottom of my stairs, I serve an awesome God," end of quote. According to the famous songwriter, if you give a little more than you take, fix a little more than you break, provide shelter for someone in the rain, help to soothe those with severe pain, if you stand up for those who are down on their knees, if you shine a light to give sight to someone who has all lost their way, do for those who cannot do for themselves, then there's a place up there for someone like you. My beloved sister, you are now a part of that place. With reference from John Ellerton, a renowned writer. Now the laborer's task is over. Now the battle day is past. Now upon the farther shore lands the voyager at last. Father, in thy gracious keeping, leave me now, thy servant sleeping. Earth to earth, and dust to dust. Calmly now the words we say, left behind, we await in trust for the resurrection day. Father, in thy gracious keeping, leave me now, thy servant sleeping. May my sister's soul rest in peace, and rest assured that our Heavenly Father will take care in his arms. Here in the reading of our eulogy.
We continue the prayer for the family. All you who mourn the loss of a loved one, and at this hour remember the goodness, the hope, and the sweet companionship that has passed away with Juliet. Give ear to the word of comfort spoken in the name of God. The Spirit lives and will live forever in the shelter of God's love and mercy. And in this life also our loved one will continue in the remembrance of those to whom she was precious. Every act of goodness she performed, every true and beautiful word she spoke is treasured up and becomes an incentive to conduct by which the living honor the dead. And when you ask in your grief, whence shall come my help and my comfort, then in the strength of faith, answer with the psalmist, my help cometh from God, he will not forsake me, nor leave me in my grief. Upon him I cast my burden, and he will grant me strength according to the days he has appointed to me. All souls are his, and no power can take them out of his hands. Amen. Kindly ask Cornell to come forward to share.
Hi, everyone. Public speaking is definitely not my strong suit, and Mom knows this. She knows I'm terrified of it, so she would definitely love to see this right now. She's been trying to get me to do it my whole life. So I actually was not going to speak today, but I made the last-minute decision that I think it's something I would forever regret if I didn't come up here and do my part for Mom. So, saying goodbye. Losing a loved one is like a missing piece in the puzzle of life. It might be time to say goodbye, but the memories shine through every time we see the sunrise. Like ocean waves crashing against the shore, the memories remain long after this goodbye. A final goodbye feels impossible when a loved one has been stitched into the fabric of our lives. Saying goodbye means no more smiles, no more hugs, no more moments on this side of eternity, yet the beautiful memories bring comfort from the pain. It might be goodbye, but your story lives on. Your love is written on our hearts forever. As we lay you to rest, my heart breaks with this final goodbye. You are such a powerful light to this world. When someone's ties to this world are broken and it's time to say goodbye, their connection can still remain forever. Farewell to a beautiful person who left this world infinitely better. Goodbye just means the memories become more meaningful each day. I'll miss not having you here so much, but I know the life lessons I've learned from you will keep me steady. Walking this path without you won't be easy, but your memories will keep me company. Just like the breeze on a cool morning, I'll be refreshed by your love long after this goodbye. Your words will encourage me, lift me up in life, even after this farewell. As the sun sets on your life, we're encouraged a new way each day through the way you lived. Even as we say goodbye, we lift up your life as an inspiration of love, grace, and wisdom. You'll forever be missed. We all love you, Mom. Thank you.
To the departed Juliet Solomon, whom we now remember, may peace and bliss be granted in life eternal. May she find grace and mercy before the Lord of heaven and earth. May her memory be a blessing to those who treasure it. May the Father of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort the bereaved among us. Amen. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord give you peace. Amen. Again, we ask Deji to come up. And as she is serenading us, we're going to ask both Cornell and David and the family, as they wish, to take the urn with the ashes out of the church. And of course, you will follow. The rest of the family will follow in order, please. Thank you.
So this next song is a little unconventional, but as you all know, and as I've just seen and learned, this lady was a firecracker. She was full of life, and so her sons want us to celebrate her life and remember all the joy and all the laughter and all the fun times. So we're gonna rock out, and I want you guys to sing along with me to this one. All right? You should stay and sing a little too. Here we go. Come on, put your hands together. We're gonna have a little party for Julie. I call you, I need you, my heart's on fire. You come to me, wild and wired. Oh, you come to me, give me everything I need. Give me a lifetime of promises and a world of dreams. Speak a language of love like you know what it means. Shaka. Oh, it can be wrong. Take my heart and make it strong, babe. Say, you're simply the best. You're better than all the rest. You're better than anyone I've ever met. I'm stuck on your heart. I hang on every word you say. Tear us apart now. Baby, I would rather be there. In your heart, I see the start of every night and every day. I get lost, I get eyes, I get washed away. Just as long as you're here in my arms, I could be in no better place. Sing while you're walking out. We're simply the best, 'cause she was better than all the rest. Better than anyone I've ever met. Oh, I'm stuck on your heart. I hang on every word you say. Tear us apart now, baby. Oh, I would rather be dead. Each time you leave me, I start losing control. Walking away with my heart and my soul. I can feel you even when I'm alone. Oh, baby, don't let go. You're better than all the rest. You're better than anyone I've ever met. Oh, I'm stuck on your heart. I hang on every word you say. Tear us apart now, baby. Oh, I would rather be there. Oh, you're the best. Yeah. Tina.